Good evening, Chairwoman Carter, ladies and gentlemen, Freeholder Board, Bruce Paterson, Garwood. Congratulations, by the way, Chairwoman Carter, Freeholder Kowalski, and Freeholder, newly elected Freeholder Granados. I don't recall you running with a mustache, but obviously things change.
Yeah.
Let's see, page 3. On the top 885, I was here when you were discussing it, and you mentioned the grant monies being distributed would be a 100% match by the municipalities. I'm always on the case of why making government entities match, only because the grant money's coming down from tax money, and then the towns have to actually match the tax money with more tax money. I think something's wrong with that. I'd like to know why you're making it 100% match. There may be a state mandate, but I'd like to know that. 889 on the same page 3 on the bottom, it's about the countywide code blue, and yes, you're the only county on the forefront of this, but as I've mentioned before, when it comes to the sheriff's office and the police department, you're the last county to actually think about combining it. So I mean, you claim you're on the forefront of all these things, and yet you're lagging on that other issue. On page 5, 899, $587,000. It's a correction. I remember it was like $578,000. Now it's $580,000. City of Plainfield for a paving project. I'd just like to know, Cranford and Garwood has a street. They share a street called Galloping Hill Road. It's 1 block long. It needed paving. They both chipped in a couple of $1,000s. And the first people they went to is the county, because you do paving. And I'm looking at here, and you do paving. And yet the county said, no, thank you. They turned us down. I mean, this was a perfect time for sharing services, and you turned Cranford and Garwood down. I'd like to know the reason why it was turned down. Possibly it was Director Graziano could answer that one. 901 on page 5. 901, is he here? Everybody's laughing. 901, 902, 903, 904. As Freeholder Marabella mentioned last week. That's modifying the budget to the tune of about $200,000. My question is, was this money already included in the budget, or is it coming in and hopefully offsetting some of the tax burden of our overburdened residents? Page 6, on the very top, 908, that seems to be a favorite resolution tonight, about the non-contractual salary ranges. I do understand, I was here last week when you explained it. However, you did mention, I think Director Dorado did mention that there are actually 2 people that are affected, that now they are below the range that was increased. So some people are having their salary increased. Page 7 on the top, number 918. Again, this is the Galloping Hill Banquet and Catering Hall. Kemper Sports is getting another $500,000 for $5.7 million. Director Armando Sanchez mentioned $6.3 million in revenue. I'm looking at $5.7 million being paid out to Kemper Sports. It looks like there's a $600,000 difference, which sounds like revenue to us. But I'm just wondering, is this actual revenue, or are there other costs that are with like debt or such that's just going to suck that right up? And I just want to mention previously, somebody said there's 55 events taking place at this Galloping Hill Banquet Hall this year. So that's telling me you're taking 55 events away from private enterprises of catering and other banquet halls. So you're actually hurting the private enterprises with what you're doing. So it's not really any gain at all. You're hurting. And that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'll do that.
I think Graziano wants to go first.
Through you, Madam Chair. That's actually the first time I'm hearing of this, of that road being asked of me to give a shared service. There isn't one town in this county that I have not done shared service with paving in, and And especially Cranford and Garwood, I mean, I work very closely with both of those townships, with their administrators, with their public works directors, and again, if there's any road that needs to be done, every town's called me, so I don't know who Mr. Paterson's talking about has called me, and I said no, because it would have to come through me. I would have to say no, and I did not say no to Cranford or Garwood to do a shared service for Galloping Hill Road, because we would clearly do it with our manpower. They could buy the blacktop. We've done it in multiple towns within the county. There isn't one town in this county that could say that we have not helped them out with shared service of paving. So I'd be glad to speak to Mr. Patterson after the meeting or right now to find out what that's about, just to get that cleared up.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Director Taylor?
Through you, Madam Chair, Resolution 2013-900 to 2013-904. These resolutions were not incorporated in the adopted budget. In fact, these resolutions are to modify the 2013 budget. The funds articulated in the resolution do not supplant county income tax dollars.
Thank you. Director Torado?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yes, last week I did mention there are three employees out of the 478 non-contractual employees whose current salary falls below this, and they would be adjusted upwards. But again, this is 3 of the 476. This is not across the board 1.6% raise increase.
Vice Chair?
Yes. Thank you, Madam Chair. Just from a past life, I have some background with municipal alliances, and I can tell Mr. Patterson that the funding for the municipal alliances are not tax dollars. They are funded through the Drug Enforcement Demand Reduction Fund, which is when someone is convicted of a drug crime, those funds are placed into a pot of money, and that goes into anti-drug education. And the match is not required by Union County, it's required by the state of New Jersey. Thank you.
Thank you. I think we covered everything.
918, Armando?
918.
41, Ms. Keller?
It is all operational expenses for the year, at 5.7 million.
Thank you.
But just 2 items. One is Director Taylor came up and she talked about supplanting it, amending the budget does not supplant the taxes. I mean, when she talks, I can see everybody's eyes glaze over, but I mean, I just would like her to come up and tell us what supplant means. I mean, I'm not an Einstein here, I'm just a little schmaloli. Another, your vote that you're asking for the ordinance 754-2013 about the Meadowlands Commission landfill and the disposal. You have it set for December 5th. From what I understand, that's going to be an agenda-setting meeting. And for some reason, if there's going to be public comment, that shouldn't be at the agenda-setting meeting. It should be at a regular meeting. So I'm asking you to push it back to whatever regular meeting date it is, so at least the public that does come here will be able to speak, because rare does the public show up on the agenda setting. Thank you very much.
Just to let you know, we will push it back for you. We'll keep it to December the 5th because that's a double meeting.
Oh, it's a double meeting? Okay.
Yes. We'll just push it back a little bit later for you, not at 7. Okay? Anyone else?